Hello, everybody, and welcome to For the Shoe Friday number 7. We're a little behind the other ones. We didn't get to do a For the Shoe Friday last week because the draft was happening, and we wanted to do a For the Shoe Friday when we had all of the picks on the table ready to talk about, and here we are. So we need 10 likes on this episode. That is a like goal. We also need to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal here on the channel. We're trying to get monetized. We got families, bro. We got families. Um, so we're at 3:38 at the time of this recording. It might be more now. I didn't check after the live Duval Thursday, but yeah. So let's get into it. We're gonna be talking nothing but draft, and I guess perhaps what needs to be done in free agency, but it may not be a necessary conversation, and you'll find out why as we get a little further into this draft. One of the bigger needs that the Colts had was obviously quarterback, and it was obviously getting one who wasn't born in the '80s. Um, so they go out and they draft um, a guy whose ceiling might be the highest of all the quarterbacks in this class, and his floor might be the lowest of all the quarterbacks in this class. Now, he was the best available at the time, so you can't fault him. He does bring a lot of athletic upside, but immediate impact is going to be he's raw. Okay, he's very raw, very raw. Jeff, take it away.
Yeah, so when we did the live draft, I looked a little, I don't know, I guess frustrated or irritated with the pick, but the more that I sat back and thought about it and had some time to digest it, it made sense. I mean, with Will Levis, I can't even trust a guy that would put mayonnaise in coffee, so it's like I get it. I don't know if that was one of the determining factors with them, but I think looking at what Steichen does and what he runs with this offense, this was not a Ballard typical pick. And it seems like throughout the draft, he kind of went against his own grain quite a bit. This was not like he likes the Philip Rivers, the Matt Ryan's, the quarterback, pocket passer. So this was very different for him, and I feel like Steichen probably had a lot of influence on this.
Yeah,
And it's his offense, and it's like I get it. It's like you said, it's really high ceiling, very low floor, but I think Steichen's the type that can get the most out of him.
I would like to dispel a couple of things that I've perpetuated on this channel because I found out they were recently false. Will Levis on a dare put mayo in his coffee and does not regularly drink it like that.
Still, he did it, man. I
Look,
can't trust it.
you're telling me right now you get double dog dared to put mayo in your coffee, you're not going to do it?
No, I don't put
What kind of
anything.
man are you? What kind of man are you? You're getting double dog dared? No, I'm just
I'm gonna put it in my
playing.
coffee. I have too much respect for coffee, man.
Look, I hear that, but he's in college. Dares are everything. And then you got the banana peel thing. Now that was apparently a video that he did. It was like an ice bucket challenge kind of deal. Now I'm not a doctor,
Yeah,
but
I
he did
guess
it
if
one
you like,
time.
I guess like there's a lot of nutrients, like kind of like oranges. There would be a lot of nutrients in the peel, but
I mean,
you
difficult
can't just gnaw it.
chewing on it for like 40 minutes.
Unless if it's banana that's about ready to go into like a pudding or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just really brown.
Yeah.
Gross.
So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I
But
was mistaken.
I mean, overall, I'm happy. I mean, the guy like is an athletic freak. You pair him up with Jonathan Taylor, and we might have one of the best, at least ground games in the NFL. I mean, maybe not passing games, but I guess that remains to be seen what kind of work can be done with him.
Yeah. Well,
But
let's look at the second round draft pick.
yeah,
He's on the opposite side of the ball.
and it
Uh,
was Ballard. I think even in the combine they were talking about this guy, and he was able to drop back twice and still get him. So he acquired two extra picks, I think a fourth and another fifth, in the process, and still got Julius Brents. No, he's not the fastest, but this he's probably a day one starting corner. I think he's 6'3", and he has a higher vertical jump than Anthony Richardson had. So he can move. He's explosive. He he has a great range, and this is he'll probably be a day one starting corner. I wasn't surprised they went quarterback corner here. It was a huge need after Gilmore got traded.
Absolutely, and I think that room was kind of young and needed a little bit more youth to come in, and they brought in some size with it. But round three,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Downs out of North Carolina.
Yeah,
Wide receiver was obviously a large need for basically everybody in the AFC South, with the exception of the Jags, and everybody except for the Titans kind of addressed it. Um,
that's hilarious. I'm sorry.
I mean, you're not going to sit here and tell me that drafting a seventh round wide receiver is,
Solves the problem, baby.
yeah. I mean, look.
He might, but
It hasn't been since 2013 that anybody from UT Martin was even drafted. Maybe they're overdue for a Hall of Famer. It is a possibility that exists in life, however small it exists.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna fill that need. Anyway,
yeah, in Garden Tech,
but this was. Oh, I'm talking about the Titans.
I know.
They still don't have any wide receivers. Anyway,
I know.
but Josh, this was another Ballard heavy against the grain. What he normally does. I think average. He's drafted. I think the average is like 6'3", 215. He always goes for the big body, go over a defender, or go, that's typically what he does. Josh Downs is like 5'9" and like 180, I think, soaking wet.
Yeah.
So this was another pick that I don't think was Ballard, and I think this is him listening to his coaching staff. And, even Reggie Wayne was really high up on Josh Downs.
Yeah.
And, just listening to the guy talk, he sounds like he's got a great, head on his shoulders. And all through his collegiate career, I think he had 2 or 3 drops. So he's a football vacuum. And I think he's going to fill a need that the Colts didn't have last year, and that's that short, passing game, pick up first downs. It's something that they didn't have. They tried to do it with Pierce, and he had issues getting separation. This is a guy that can get separation, that he's going to beat, if he's on a safety linebacker, whatever, he's going to beat him.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be the guy third and 5, third and 6, third and 7, that he's going to, he's smart. He knows where the first down, the line to gain is. He's going to get it, and he's going to catch it. So I think this is a great, security blanket pickup for Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, you had to bring in a wide receiver. You needed one. You also needed help at the offensive tackle position, and you got that in Blake Freeland out of BYU in the 4th round at 106. So what can you tell me about him?
Anybody would. We needed a lineman, man. We had one of the worst lines in football last year, and I don't care, tackle, guard, center. I don't give a shit what they get. But this guy is, he's another monster. He's 6'8", 300 pounds, just a big human being. And I really didn't care what who or what they got. They needed to beef up their line, and they did a pretty good job there addressing it.
Yeah.
And most of these picks, as we get a little bit further into it, there's a lot of steals here. Even we'll get into it in a little bit, but there was even an undrafted that they picked up from he's a guard from Alabama, and I think he was projected early, probably 4th, 5th round, and he went undrafted, and the Colts immediately after the draft grabbed him. So
yeah,
I think this is another great pickup for the line.
he says it's a swing tackle, so he could play either side.
Yeah.
4-year starter. That's pretty solid. I mean, the hope is that he can at least compete and or start somewhere along the offensive line. Probably
Anything.
Your weakest spots are what, right guard and right tackle.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not right tackle. because Braden
I mean,
Smith.
you could throw in left tackle, but I actually kind of like where Raymond finished the season, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the right side.
Well, that is his natural position though. Blake Freeland is a left tackle.
Maybe they'll shift him around. Who knows?
We'll see. Another fourth round pick, the defensive tackle out of Northwestern. We don't know how to pronounce his name very well. So
I'm not. I'm gonna. I'm.
yeah, no,
We settled on
we're
AA. I
not
think.
going to do it. So it's going to be A squared, or we can go double A. Um,
I heard a guy call him in a podcast, Adi Adi. So
yeah, I was thinking
that
about
was
that.
good too, man.
Yeah. A defensive tackle, as we had previously talked about, maybe not the largest need, but fourth round pick. What can you tell us about him?
To me, this is more of a, I guess, more of a depth and potential pickup. He's definitely probably not going to dethrone, DeForest Buckner at the position, but I think he's coming into a really good position to learn. He's another big guy, fast. Um, I, if on most other teams, he could probably come in and contribute right off the bat. Fortunately for him, he's going to have a little bit of time to sit behind one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So I like the position, and I don't know if this is a waiting for DeForest Buckner to go kind of deal. And his contract, you have a new young guy. I'm not sure if that's what that is, but I like the pickup.
Yeah.
You can never have too much depth on the defensive line, so
Very true.
I like it.
All right. Fifth round selection here. Darius Rush, cornerback out of South Carolina. Get a little bit of a double dip at the corner room.
Yeah, this guy actually really excites me. Like the potential is there. Like especially on special teams, he's a little bit shorter than the other corner they grabbed. What's his name? Julius Brents. Little bit shorter by an inch, but this kid ran a 4.36,
Mm.
so he's fast. So that has me really interested. I don't know if he'd be, at least probably not an immediate starting corner for the Colts, but probably really good depth and maybe I don't know, maybe a gunner or something on special teams. But that speed is ridiculous. So it's an interesting pick to me. I like it.
He was the first of 3 fifth-round draft picks.
Yeah.
So let's get into the next one. At 158, Daniel Scott, the safety from California.
I didn't look too much into Daniel Scott. I'm not going to lie.
I've got some stuff here. It says the Colts appear to be set with a pair of starters at safety, Julian Blackman and Rodney Thomas. They also picked up safety Nick Cross in the third round last year. This appears to be about increasing depth at the position while also providing competitive and willing players to help out on special teams. It looks like they're probably going to use him as a gunner. And then Rodney Thomas, was it McLeod that was older? Or was it Thomas is like 28 or 29?
Why do you ask me these questions? I've been up since 2, man.
I don't know. We're both dads. We get it. Sorry, first of 4 fifth-round draft picks.
Yeah, they had 4. Well, they had 3 going into it, and then they got another one in that trade back in, I think, the second round.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm not sure about age treatment.
That's fine. So a depth piece, special teams guy, definitely going to be used that way. Brings us to the next fifth-round pick. 4 picks later at 162, Will Mallory, tight end out of Miami.
I mean, out of all of them, I mean, again, nothing's wrong with depth, and especially if he's a blocking tight end, which I don't think they have a whole lot of. But this to me felt, out of all of it, was one of the least needs that they had. I mean, they already had Granson and Jelani Woods, and I think Moali Cox is still there. I'm not really sure why, and they also had Ogletree that got hurt in the so they had four tight ends already. So I don't know if this was a depth thing, if they're planning on unloading, Moali Cox. I'm not sure. But again, nothing's wrong with depth, and maybe this was a best on the board type of deal. But I don't know why you would need 5 tight ends.
He had the fastest 40-yard dash of any tight end at the combine.
That might have had something to do with it. They definitely went speed and athleticism in this one, but
Yeah.
still, I like Jelani. I don't think I'm ever going to shut up about him. The size and speed on him, man. Fuck.
Yeah. His grandfather, Bill Mallory, was the head coach at Indiana from 1984 to 96. Interesting. Uh, so eight. No, that's not right. 14 picks later at 176. Evan Hull is taken, the running back out of Northwestern. Definitely a depth piece right off the bat because you still got obviously JT and you got Zach Moss. So
I really think that Evan Hull can come in, and I really think he can have a strong chance to compete for either that 2 or 3 running back spot. And I say that because Steichen likes to run a lot of gadget things, a lot of swings, and a lot of stuff to the running back. And that was kind of a need after they traded away Naheem Hines. I'm not sure if Evan Hull can come in and immediately do that, but he was a great pass catching back. I can't remember how many catches he had in college. I looked that up earlier, but I don't remember. Uh, but he was a good pass catching back. And again, he's fast. He ran a 4.47. So he's not the fastest, but he's pretty quick, and
yeah,
he's a really good pass catcher. So I feel like he's someone that can come in and contribute at least in the passing game. JT's going to have the ground, but they kind of without Naheem Hines, they kind of got a little more one dimensional with the run game. So I think this can maybe do split back, that kind of stuff, and utilize him in the pass because he's another fast guy.
yeah. 6th-round pick, 211, Titus Leo, edge out of Wagner. He's the second ever player drafted out of Wagner, behind Greg Sinnott. And then he was a high school receiver and safety. He moved to edge rusher at Wagner and blossomed into a pass rusher, which is kind of interesting. So you would imagine he's going to bring some of that athleticism into the position.
Yeah, definitely some depth here. It's round 7, so I don't know if you're drafting in the 7th round to start right off the bat. But I feel like this is kind of a good sign for the Colts. If they win linebacker, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, I'd be a little more worried about Leonard than them picking a linebacker up in the 7th. So. To me, it feels pretty promising that Leonard's back, a lot closer to where he should be, and this was a depth signing.
Yeah.
So.
7th-round pick, number 221, Jalen Jones, corner out of Texas A&M. A triple dip at the position.
Yeah.
2 SEC boys. Very nice. So what do we know about Jalen Jones? If the other guy was going to be a special teams guy, this guy's got to be also a special teams guy, right?
I would assume depth. Again, it's 7th round, so we're not. Colts had 12 picks in this draft, so I don't think we're anticipating every single one to make, the final 53-man roster.
Right.
But it could be another depth, and you know what? He could be really good, but I'd put more money on, couple corners that went in front of him to making the roster, and at least for special teams and the safety. So this he could surprise, but I feel like this is just a good depth signing, good pickup.
Okay. Final pick of the draft, Jake Witt, offensive tackle out of Northern Michigan. Again, attacking the tackle position, much maligned last year. The entire line, with the exception of Quentin Nelson, who I believe was banged up and out a couple games, right?
Yeah. There was Quentin Nelson didn't even really look himself.
I mean, it's kind of hard to look yourself when all of the chaos is happening around you.
Yeah, I mean, you're working next to a left tackle that was a rookie, and it's Kelly had a lot of issues, personal issues, so you can't you can't do everything on the line. And then the right side was a disaster for the most part.
And I imagine Kelly's got to be trying to help over at the right guard. So
it was just it was a mess. And when you have a statue quarterback, I mean, that's with a line that can't protect and a quarterback that can't move. That's going to be a disaster.
No, don't
So
talk
again, I
about
have
Matty
no
Wheels.
Matt. Oh, God, yeah, yeah. Come on, man. Someone clocked that 40,
He's still running.
17 minutes.
Yeah.
We're already
Oh,
in the
man.
fourth quarter on this run.
So,
I
all
don't know
right.
where the
So,
defense was, but I like it. Again, they had a lot of depth issues at the line, so I have no issue with them going, tackle again.
of all the players selected, how many do you know uh, off the top of your head? How many were selected by the Colts?
Just in the draft, I believe it was 12. 12
Okay.
picks.
So, let's just say it's 12. Of the 12, how many do you think realistically make the roster?
I'm gonna assume Richardson does.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead
Um,
and check mark him in there.
say that I would say at least. I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to say probably seven of them do. To be honest, at
Yeah.
least I would say seven. Just if you look at to me, it's pretty clear what Steichen and Ballard were trying to do here, and they went speed. We all know what Anthony Richardson did. Pierce, I talked about him all last year and his speed. McKenzie, they picked up this offseason, ran a 4.42. They got the running back Evan Hull that ran a 4.47. JT, um, and Downs even ran a 4.48. So it's just it's really really clear what the Colts are trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to run past you.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like quite a few of these rookies will probably make the roster. If you pick, you went two tackles, you picked up the guard, and as an undrafted free agent, and your line was a disaster, I'd assume at least two of them make the roster. Because they haven't picked anybody up, so
Yeah.
I think it's safe to assume that at least two of them make it. I would hope the two corners, at least, for special teams, one of them. Uh, so yeah, I would say at least 6 or 7 of the 12 probably make the roster.
Okay. Do you think there are any free agents out there that could plug any remaining holes?
You could still look at the line.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with competition there, especially with how bad they were. And the same thing at corner. If you're gonna bring on two rookie corners, adding another veteran, I don't think would hurt anything. There's still Rocky Sin's still there. Shaq Griffin, I know. Isaiah would probably laugh at that. Yeah, do
I
it.
think
But
Rocky Sin got signed.
did he?
Yeah.
Did he finally get picked up? I didn't see that. I've been driving all day. But if
I'll look it up.
I wouldn't have an issue with it. Um, maybe another edge if there's one out there. I kind of like the guy that they got that was with San Francisco, but
The Ravens.
Yeah.
The
maybe
Ravens.
to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Figures.
Yeah.
Damn Ravens. But yeah, I would say you can never have too many offensive linemen for competition. Maybe another corner for a little more veteran and depth. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like in this draft they addressed a lot of needs.
All right. Is there anything you want to say to Colts fans that maybe you haven't already about this draft?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of negativity. I can understand that with how the last few seasons have unfolded. But if you go back to Andrew Luck and his abrupt retirement at the beginning of the season, uh,
Yeah.
that would hurt. Just imagine what would happen to the Chiefs if Patrick Mahomes just said, "Fuck it," a couple of weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like Ballard hasn't tried to fix the quarterback. He's reached his hand in just about everything he could, and this is a completely new looking team. So there's going to be growing pains. When Peyton Manning was, when he started, he went 3-13, and it was an abysmal season.
Yeah.
So there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be Richardson is not going to come out and throw 60 touchdowns and no picks. That's never going to happen. He's going to have problems. Be patient. He's young. He doesn't have a lot of starts. Just give him time. Give Steichen time.
Okay.
Let the process happen.
All right, and with that, we've come to the end of the episode here, episode 7. Folks, want to thank you for watching. Jeff, thank you for your time and your effort, brother. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to get 10 likes on this episode, and we're at 338 on the subscriber count. We'd love to get to 1,000. Your subscription helps now. So with that, folks, be good people. Peace out.
Go Colts.